Are you the best point guard ever?
Yes. I have to, yes. It's me and Magic? Is that the conversation?
Yeah.
Wait, whoa. Time out. Did Steph really mean what he just said there? Now, just to be sure that I hear what I just heard, let's hit that clip one more time.
Are you the best point guard ever?
Yes.
Damn. The chef didn't mince words there when he confidently said, yeah, damn right, I'm the greatest point guard of all time. I mean, not gonna lie, Steph has a serious resume and a bunch of hardware to back up what he just said. But beyond the numbers and shiny trophies, is it really true that Steph Curry is the best ever to play in the point guard position? Or, was he just trolling us around like he often does? Well, today, folks, let's try to dig deeper into this by laying out all the facts, as well as other important factors, to build a strong case as to whether Steph Curry is really the GOAT at the point guard spot, as he personally claimed to be. Now, as you heard in the clip earlier, Steph brought up one name along with his in the PG GOAT conversation, and that is the name of the legendary Magic Johnson. You see, while there were other great point guards that graced the NBA hardwood, such as John Stockton, Isaiah Thomas, Jason Kidd, and Steve Nash, none of them changed the game like Steph and Magic did. And because of this, let's put Magic as Steph's closest adversary in this particular GOAT debate. Now, if you look at the tail of the tape right here, you can see that aside from scoring, Magic has virtually dominated all areas and has more hardware to show for it. Now, while it is true that Magic has outclassed Steph in terms of athleticism, defense, and basketball IQ, these are just the proverbial tip of the iceberg, as many people would call it. And besides, the GOAT debate has never been always about who's the better physical specimen, because if that were the case, then LeBron can easily be considered as the greatest of all time, since he's bigger, stronger, and has higher basketball IQ than MJ. Even though we all know by fact he's 4-10 in the finals and raised 2 fewer championships than Jordan. The same thing applies here. Although Magic is clearly the more dominant player from the physical standpoint, we can't deny the fact that Steph has been a dominant force in the league with the way he single-handedly revolutionized the game from the three-point line. I mean, sure, Magic was a transcendent player in his own right when he wowed the crowd with his passing wizardry and flamboyant playstyle as a 6'9" point guard for the Showtime Lakers, which was unprecedented in his time. While that is quite impressive from an individual standpoint, it pales in comparison to how Steph influenced the entire league to jack up shots from beyond the arc at crazy levels. You see, during Magic's prime in the 80s, teams were just attempting 2.8 shots from the three-point line. And then a brief spike can be observed around the 95-96 season, which went down and normalized around the start of the 2000s. But while it's normal to see a steady upward trajectory in terms of three-point shooting as the game grows over the years, you can see that the trend has suddenly spiked right after the 2009-2010 season, from around 23.1 attempts to 34.5 within a decade. Now, do you guys know what happened during the 09-10 season? Well, that was the same year the Golden State Warriors drafted a skinny kid out of Davidson as their 7th overall pick in the NBA draft, named Wardell Stephen Curry II. Call it a coincidence or not, but Steph's arrival has definitely sparked a three-point revolution that shook the league to its core. And now, teams are forced to adapt to the norm that Steph has set, and the floor has never been spaced out like before, which, again, can be credited to Steph's outside shooting brilliance. Anyways, as good as Magic was, point forwards were not really a new thing when he arrived in '79. And during his prime, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, and Tony Kukoc were all considered as point forwards running the show for their respective teams at the helm from time to time. Now, in this generation, there are many unicorns who are as tall as Magic and can dominate the game the way he did, like Luka, LeBron, Harden, the MVP version of Westbrook, the rookie version of Ben Simmons, so on and so forth. But see, here's the thing. Throughout the rich 70-year history of the NBA, we can all agree that we have never seen a more prolific shooter who single-handedly changed and destroyed the league from the three-point line than Steph Curry. And to me, This is a huge factor that can cement Steph's case as the GOAT over Magic. Now, aside from the level of impact that they've generated, we also have to take into account the circumstances that they were in the moment they joined the league, as well as their path to the championship thereafter. You see, when Steph arrived in 2009, the Warriors were still picking up the pieces left off by the We Believe era as they struggled in back-to-back seasons following their Cinderella run in the 2007 playoffs, where they beat the Mavs in the first round. And if we're going to take a look at the 2009-2010 lineup, Steph had no all-star teammates whatsoever, and the best player on that team was Monte Ellis, who at best was only hailed as the most improved player, followed by Corey Maggette, Steven Jackson, and right after him, we can safely say that the rest of the guys were just complimentary players that didn't produce much impact. Meanwhile, when Magic got drafted in '79, the Lakers just came off 3 consecutive playoff appearances after acquiring the then 3-time league MVP and NBA champion Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in a league-changing trade from Milwaukee. On top of Kareem, Magic was also surrounded by a couple of all-stars and well-accomplished players like Jamal Wilkes, Spencer Haywood, and the blossoming defensive ace in Michael Cooper. It's quite obvious that Magic had more help around than Steph when they were both starting out. And as we all know, the Lakers grabbed the championship in Magic's first season as he became the only rookie to win Finals MVP after filling in for the injured Kareem in Game 7 of their Finals matchup against the 76ers. Now, on the other hand, the Warriors bottomed out at 13th place in Steph's first season, a trend that would continue for the next 2 seasons, primarily due to the fact that Steph doesn't have much talent to work around with. Anyway, in the next decade, Magic and the Lakers would continue to rack up 4 more championships while winning 3 regular seasons and 3 Finals MVPs along the way, on top of being named as an All-Star 12 times. Meanwhile, after finding his footing in the league for the first 4 seasons, Steph finally got the much-needed help he needed in the 2014-2015 season when he, along with Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, propelled the Warriors to their first championship since 1975 and established one of the most feared dynasties in the modern era. After that, Steph would win 3 more chips with 5 Finals appearances in the next 7 seasons, while also winning back-to-back MVPs, a Finals MVP, and receiving 9 All-Star nominations in the process. I mean, both of their careers seem to be trajecting a similar path, with Magic having a bit of a head start, while Steph managed to catch up later on. But see, here's the biggest difference that might just be the ultimate clincher for this point guard GOAT debate. Magic played 12 good seasons with the Lakers before prematurely retiring due to HIV, and then he came back for a last hurrah in the 1995-96 season, before hanging up his sneakers for good at 36 years old. Steph, on the other hand though, well, the man never missed a beat going into his 15th season in the NBA. And let's just say that the chef simply keeps on cooking as he came off 29.4 points per game just last season at age 34, and he's showing no signs of slowing down at all. With this said, I think Steph still has 5 or even 6 good years left of him, and as long as he stays healthy throughout the remainder of his career, there's a huge possibility that he'll win a couple more hardware with the way he's able to sustain his peak in the last couple of seasons. And if Steph, let's say, wins an MVP and 1 more championship, I think that would be more than enough for Steph Curry to seal the deal in this conversation on who's the greatest point guard of all time.